coming from that right back, Radecki, number 32. Look for her to really be putting in those balls off the corner kicks and long throw-ins.
Then for the Crimson Tide, a very familiar 4-3-3.
Absolutely, and I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. This has just been an absolute great lineup for the Tide. So many offensive weapons here. Should be very exciting start to the game.
Mo O'Connor already this season with 5 goals. She's had 17 throughout her career in Oxford. We are set for soccer between Ole Miss and Alabama. First of 2 45-minute halves. The clock will count down, and again this year, no overtime, no golden goals, so just 90 minutes to determine this matchup between the Crimson Tide and the Rebels. Kenley Crone getting Alabama organized to begin the match. So the better goalkeepers in the SEC matching wits tonight. Skorka will help keep this in play. Back to the center. Just to the back of the box, but an early example of how aggressive Alabama will be on offense tonight.
Oh, definitely. Alabama are going to be going to the touchline every time.
Coach Matthew Mott understands that. He, of course, won a couple of matches against Crimson Tide last season. He's now in his 13th year as the Ole Miss coach, and he's turned into the 4th longest tenured head coach in the SEC. Some good teams he's had in his time in Oxford.
Absolutely. He's been in the SEC for nearly 20 years, was at Auburn before Ole Miss, and so he's seen sort of everything that Alabama could throw at him.
Knox was trying to redirect back to the very top of the box. Now throw-in coming up for Alabama. Jessica Skorka, always busy on the right side for the Crimson Tide. And to Sarepka, as we see an example of the tough defense from Ole Miss that they're going to have to play with tonight.
Yeah, they feel really good about their defensive shape. They feel really good about that back line, and again, anchored with Orcus, but Alabama is going to be a handful.
Crimson Tide led by head coach Wes Hart, now in his 8th season at Alabama. He's been putting this roster together that we're seeing this year for many, many years, even going back to Riley Parker, who first committed to the Crimson Tide back in 2015. Now it's paying off here in 2020.
And I mean...
2022.
Yeah, 2022, and it's got to be so exciting for Coach Hart just to see all this hard work pay off.
Solid work being done by Ole Miss to set up the first corner kick of the match.
Yeah, and so Ole Miss, like Alabama, they like to get touchline. They like to get players in the box. You know, scoring off of set pieces has really sort of been their bread and butter so far. And again, against Alabama, it will be hard to do in the run of play. So these set pieces become really, really important.
Certainly would like to target Mary Kate McGuire, who leads Ole Miss with 6 goals this year. The first corner kick is underway. Crone punches it away from the box. See if the Rebels can try and redirect. And a foul called against the Crimson Tide.
Yeah, so I think the referee there is going to call a late tackle there on Sarepka. But I think this is going to be sort of a window into the future of the types of physical play we're going to see in the middle of the pitch.
All the way from Orcus. She is dangerous in spots like that. Already 1 goal in the year.
So dangerous, and you know, talking with Coach Mott, I mean, Orcus can just place that ball on her teammate's foot, so she just becomes such an integral piece of set pieces, working the ball from the back. Much more than just a fantastic shot stopper.
I got to clear the runway for a long throw-in coming up for Taylor Radecki, one of the more unique throw-ins in SEC soccer. Booms it into the box. Headed first by Sasha Pickard of Alabama. A couple of attempts by her to clear it to the right. What are you thinking on defense, seeing that throw-in come in?
I mean, that's an amazing throw-in, and she's got such great precision. You know, back when I was playing, a couple of players had those long throws, but they're the flip throws. But the fact that she can just launch that without, you know, propelling her body is just quite amazing. Yeah, effortless.
Headed first by Alabama once again. See if the Rebels can mount an attack.
So Alabama, gets out of that one, but they've got to be aware that that ball coming from Radecki, whether it's a throw-in, whether it's a set piece from the corner, or whether it's just a ball played in, she's got an amazing talent, amazing knack at finding McGuire and O'Connor.
Mary Kay McGuire dispossessed Brooke Steer at center back, helping Alabama.
Yeah, that was a huge tackle by Brooke Steer.
Sasha Pickard will get the Crimson Tide organized. Those two together, Pickard and Steer, have been critical to Alabama's defensive success.
They are so tight. It is just such a well-coordinated defensive back, starting with Crone, and then those center backs, as you mentioned, Roger, just so incredibly tight. And then we've got Reina Reyes there doing all the work, moving back into that outside back position, played center or played midfield last year for much of her time. So we're not seeing her in the attack quite as much as we normally do, but nonetheless holding it down on that right-hand side, or left-hand side, excuse me.
She has been so active, of course, last year playing a little more up top, scoring more goals for the Crimson Tide, but that doesn't mean she's not being involved in everything Alabama's doing on offense and defense.
I mean, she has 5 goals on the season. She had 2 goals against Tennessee. What more could you want from your outside back?
Or in the midfield a year ago, Orcus off her line, getting tangled up with Henderson, but still Ashley Orcus with a stop.
And if you're Ole Miss, you've got to feel so good about having Ashley Orcus back there. She is going to clean up anything that comes through. She gives so much confidence to that back line. A good ball in from Riley Tanner. Seemed to be dribbling, couldn't quite get a foot on it from Alabama, clean shot off, but Orcus coming out, making that huge save with those big hands.
Riley Tanner with a burst of speed, getting Alabama moving.
Oh, she's just so good on that left side. You see how many players she draws in and just occupies.
She was dispossessed for a moment, but quickly got a foot right back in the ball. Now Alabama back to work. Throw in for the Crimson Tide. Alabama trying to win match against Ole Miss for the first time in 4 tries. 2 wins last year for the Rebels, including in Orange Beach, Alabama, and what turned out to be a terrific match. Ole Miss picked up a 1-0 win. The lone goal was scored by Molly Martin in the 11th minute. It was really tightly played in the quarterfinals before Ole Miss would go on to the semis of the SEC tournament.
Yeah, always a tight matchup, but especially that last one at the beach. And here we've got a reset of play. The ball was broken up. That play by the referee just got in the way.
Knox weaving her way out of traffic. Now here come the Rebels, Mo O'Connor. Moves it a little too far in front, and Crone will put a stop to it.
Yeah, and that's what we're really going to see tonight, is a little bit of a clash of styles, I would say. Ole Miss wants to get forward fast. They want to go a little bit more direct. They want to get the ball into the box, and they want to try to catch Alabama. And Alabama wants to move that ball, so key things for Ole Miss is disrupt the rhythm. Do not let Alabama move that ball when they feel comfortable of finding those seams.
Parker and Skorka going to work. Here's where Alabama can be dangerous. Skorka against Mister. Off her line, Orcus. And the Rebels had some numbers in the box, starting with Chapman Haggerty. Solid defense by Ole Miss.
Yeah, Mo O'Connor coming all the way back, and now we've got number 10, Lauren Montgomery.
Speaking of the meetings between the teams last year in Oxford, was Ole Miss picking up a 3-1 victory, and one of the goals was scored by Mo O'Connor. The others were by Molly Martin and Haley Stackpole. I've since graduated from this Ole Miss team, and that's why maybe people weren't thinking as much about Ole Miss entering the season. Lost a lot from last year, not just Stackpole, Molly Martin, but you have to consider Channing Foster as well.
Oh yeah, so they definitely lost some firing power, but they were able to bring in some amazing transfers that have made a huge impact. They've got some great freshmen as well, but again, you've got the Mo O'Connors that haven't left and are just such workhorses, so critical to their offense.
In the 11th minute of play, so far just one shot each for Ole Miss and Alabama, one foul each for the Crimson Tide and the Rebels as well. Parker with Sarepka right there, fighting for space. Well, Raina Reyes certainly with some options. Like Riley Tanner left side, battling against Ramsey Davis. Some physical play, but Price LaPosser comes in big for Ole Miss.
Yeah, she was able to scoop up that ball after Riley Tanner got tangled up there. Ramsey Davis playing some good defense. I think we're going to see some big battles there all night long.
Reyes with the physical play that does continue, no foul. Ole Miss with Mary Kate McGuire trying to get involved. McGuire with Crone off her line. Ole Miss takes the early advantage in Tuscaloosa, and it's Mary Kate McGuire with her 6th goal of the year.
McGuire, a transfer coming in from Duke, had a great 4 seasons there, and she has just kept it going as an Ole Miss Rebel. That was some great individual work there by McGuire. Brooke Steer got dispossessed, couldn't keep her off the ball. Good physical play, shoulder to shoulder, both of them working hard. Was able to commit Crone and get around. Absolutely perfect finish from McGuire. A fantastic individual effort.
Rebels have done something that no team coming to Tuscaloosa has done so far this season. That's score a goal at the Alabama Soccer Stadium against the Crimson Tide.
Yeah, that is a tall task, but they have done it.
So Alabama giving up its first home goal of the year. Let's see how the Crimson Tide respond. You've seen some quick attacks after goals have been scored against this Alabama team, notably against Tennessee 2 weeks ago in Knoxville. But Ole Miss was able to grab possession right back.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a really physical game. Both teams want to move quickly on the ball. Like I said before, a little bit of a contrast in style, but you know, Alabama, I don't think we're going to see them panic. They've sort of been there, done that. They've been down before. They have a lot of confidence. They have a lot of belief in each other. If anything, I think this is going to make them a little bit mad. This is going to make them fired up. But not for a second should we think that Ole Miss is going to sit down and wait and just try to rest their hat on this 1-0 lead.
Raina Reyes against Mo O'Connor. Defensive help from LaPosser, but Reyes keeps the Tide moving. Parker trying to turn it around. She will, but Orcus with the stop.
And I mean, this is a good response so far. I think Alabama's going to look to some of those leaders like Raina Reyes, like Parker, to really get Alabama back in the groove, both in their play, but also as leaders on the field through their vocalization. It's going to be really important that Alabama stays in this and does not panic.
No panic from Wes Hart. Again, he's seen his team battle back all throughout this season after even some early deficits. A team that is playing with a lot of confidence, and maybe that's the biggest change in Alabama from last year to this year.
Absolutely. Having confidence makes all the difference in your ability to bounce back, to go ahead, to score more goals, to work that ball around. Cannot be understated.
Crone plays that to Skorka, but the Rebels once again, and guess who? Mary-Kate McGuire. Steer just rolls it back to Crone.
We're seeing a lot of good work by Mister out there on the right-hand side, or left-hand side, excuse me. And then, you know, McGuire is just like hunting for that ball up top. And Alabama's got to be really careful.
Crimson Tide with Parker. Didn't have much help at first. Skorka out to Tanner, off her head. Cloud trying to clear it away, but Tanner with another opportunity. Reyes battling against Ramsey Davis.
Yeah, that's good work by Alabama to keep that ball alive, to make something out of nothing. But so far, I'm seeing Ole Miss do the same thing that Alabama does to every team. Win that ball back, put it incredibly high, fast pressure, and it's forcing Alabama to turn that ball over a little bit too easily.
Tanner scored in the last match against Georgia last Thursday. First corner kick for Alabama. Felicia Knox. Off the head of Orcus and to the back. Alabama's even it up on a corner kick. Felicia Knox can't be stopped.
She cannot be stopped, Roger. I mean, Felicia Knox is coming in through in the biggest way possible. She is on an incredible roll with a goal or assist in every single game. So why not Felicia Knox to get this game all tied up? She has had incredible service all season long. She pulls out Orcus. Orcus did not think that that was going to go back corner. Uncharacteristic mistake by Orcus, but it's got to be Knox.
Her fourth goal of the season. Felicia Knox playing at such a high level for the Crimson Tide.
Now, Roger, we better buckle up. We are in for a game here in Alabama.
The equalizer less than 5 minutes later from the Crimson Tide.
And this is exactly what Coach Hart had been talking about with us. The response from his team has been so impressive. There is no panic. There is all the belief. They're having fun. They're playing soccer. They can't be stopped.
So a brand new match, 1-1s. So a majority of this first half to go, and Knox getting the Tide moving again. Here's Riley Parker. Parker puts Alabama in front. Mrs. Parker with another goal, and Alabama leads 2-1.
If that's not a response, I don't know what is. Alabama cannot stop scoring. If you are Coach Hart, that is exactly what you want to see from your team. Your two leaders, Felicia Knox and Riley Parker. What a great ball in from Riley Tanner. And Parker just so calm, looks up, hits that ball with pace, and absolutely buries it. Absolutely buries it.
With that goal, Riley Parker is now tied for the SEC lead in goals with Tennessee's Jada Thomas. Only two players in the league to have 10 goals already this season. What a performance we've seen all throughout the year from Riley Parker, missing all of last season with injury, and this year coming back has been a huge difference in getting Alabama to its best spot in school history.
I can't even say enough about the play from Parker. It's been amazing. You know, she was such a great leader for them, but did it from the bench last year, and now she is just playing out of her mind.
Tide being aggressive again, so how does Ole Miss respond now? Ashley Orcus has given up 2 goals in about a 5-minute stretch. She's only given up 4 all season long coming into tonight.
Yeah, you know, if you're Ole Miss, you've got to take a big, deep breath because things are feeling shaky. This is something that they have not seen, and so they've got to dig deep, remind themselves that they're a good team, that they've got a great defensive back line, and it starts with a good goalkeeper. But they've got to settle in and play some soccer. They've got to put a stop to Alabama. And we've got some real physical play here between Felicia Knox and number 8, Chapman Haggerty for Ole Miss. You see a replay right here. We've got Mo O'Connor, and again, we've just got Haggerty pulling a wrestling move around the neck and pulling her to the ground. You can see Chapman Haggerty is frustrated, but you know, you cannot take somebody down with a hook around the neck.
Katarzyna Wozniak is our official tonight as Knox and Chapman Haggerty keep talking things over. Pointing to her neck, Felicia Knox.
I mean, it was clear as day. Felicia Knox did not have the ball. There was no ball around. You know, the referee trying to get some control over the play here. There's not going to be a card. She wants to have a talk with the players. Probably make it clear if that happens again, you're going to get shown a yellow.
And we still have a long way to go in this one. 28-20 left to go before halftime. Another 45 after that.
Yeah, so it'll be very smart, or it's going to be very important that Ole Miss players, Crimson Tide players, that they stay in this game, that they don't make silly mistakes.
Henderson to the center. Look at that pass to Sarepka. Ashlyn Sarepka gets the deflection all the way to the right. Pressure on Knox.
Yeah, battle again between Haggerty and Knox. A good, clean battle this time. Felicia Knox getting the corner kick.
She loves scoring goals, but of course loves getting assists. Nation's leader with 12 on the season already, an Alabama school record. No one else in the country has double-digit assists except Felicia. Good service into the box. Headed first by the Rebels. McGuire getting it outside of the box, but physical play by the Crimson Tide.
Yeah, broken up by Jessica Skorka. You know, she's been beaten a couple of times tonight by Ole Miss offense, and that's, again, pretty uncharacteristic. So it's good to see her sort of stepping up and putting a big touch on that ball, not letting McGuire get past her, because McGuire has got a set of wheels on her.
.50 ball in midfield, and Klim was able to head over the halfway line for a moment. Physical play continuing. Just heard through the stadium PA that Felicia Knox credited with an assist, so she's now up to 13 on the season.
I mean, what a fantastic season. We talk a lot about Riley Parker having a great season, but Felicia Knox is just, you know, blowing Alabama records, leading the nation, just having an absolutely fantastic season.
So with that assist, we have now seen at least one assist in now 9 straight matches for Felicia Knox.
That's amazing. But not surprising. She has a hand in everything.
Haven't seen the Rebels possess as much recently, so now a chance at a throw-in coming up from the attacking third again. 9 straight with an assist, most ever at Alabama. We still have this full month to play before the postseason.
And she still has another year after this.
Well, tremendous work. And we asked Wes Hart, had it been anything specific over the summer? He goes, no, it's been all the technical training she has had all throughout her career, going back to her earliest days in soccer, that have led to this success this year.
You want to take credit if you're Wes Hart, but you can't. I think what he has done is he's given her the confidence and cultivated an environment for her to really play and showcase her talents. She's got a great set of teammates that probably make her job easier than it's been in years. But I can't emphasize enough, I think some of the players have noted it earlier, that it's the chemistry, they've played together, and again, this confidence and belief, they're just having fun.
Reyes getting set for the throw-in for Alabama. Match has calmed down just a bit in the last 2 or 3 minutes after we saw 3 goals by the Crimson Tide, 2 by Alabama, 1 by Ole Miss, 3 combined in about a 6-minute stretch. Gianna Paul is into the game for the first time with that burst of speed off the bench. Already the freshman with 4 goals this season. There's Gianna Paul. Quickly getting involved off the bench. Booms it to the center, just in front of Parker. Keeps it in play. Skorka with space. Too far to the left.
Too far for the left, but again, I just can't get over how fast Gianna Paul is. She just makes up so much ground. She keeps balls in that you don't think are gonna stay in. And then you've got Parker on the other side that again keeps that ball alive. Just such great speed up front from this Alabama side.
Decorated career, two-time state track and field champion in New York, also cross country. Has paid off her time at Alabama. Taken away by Radecki.
Yeah, there was the safe play to make by Radecki. She was able to get in front and shield that ball and then play it out to the side. If she had tried to turn, I think that would have been trouble.
Mister on defense for Ole Miss.
Yeah, going to be a goal kick here for Ole Miss. Good defense there by Mister. She's been putting in a lot of time up and down that flank, both on the offense and defensive side, broken up a lot of plays for Alabama, and then also helped Ole Miss get forward.
Tanner through three Ole Miss defenders, won't be able to move it back Alabama's direction as McGuire gets past midfield. Mister getting involved more on the offensive side than we've seen so far tonight. Nifty footwork to that left edge. Back to the Crimson Tide.
Yeah, good hard tackle there. Mister's back up, but I think was a little bit shocked that she wasn't going to get a call for that, but good hard physical play.
Possibly a chance for the Rebels. Friesen rolls it to McKinley Crone. Friesen had come off the bench earlier.
Well, and that took a big bounce over Haggerty's head.
To the center. Parker with Sarepka right there. Ashlyn Sarepka. Nice deflection by Orcus, even if it was painful. She somehow kept Alabama from its third goal.
Yeah, and that's all reaction there. That is just purely someone who can be between the posts and just react. And I mean, there's two defenders coming over to help, but Orcus just able to get her hands up and keep that ball in the net, and that's all you can hope for. Again, Orcus just keeping Ole Miss in the game.
Knox was able to bend a corner kick into the back of the net for the equalizer earlier. Now corner kick number 3. Macy Clem, Alabama with a 3-1 lead over Ole Miss.
Now this is something that we haven't seen for Ole Miss really this season. I mean, 3 goals against a keeper that barely gives up a goal a game. Fantastic job by Alabama. Again, beautiful set pieces, beautiful kicks coming in from Felicia Knox. And Macy Clem is a target on these corner kicks. She has gotten several this season. A fantastic redirect, going to the opposite post. Orcus is frozen.
Another assist for Felicia Knox. Macy Clem with her 3rd goal of the season. Chance for all the Crimson Tide to celebrate 3 goals in this first half.
Macy Clem had a similar goal against Georgia that was called back, so I feel like, this is the universe perhaps paying her back, but you know, a little bit of disbelief, I think, coming from the Ole Miss net. This is, again, something that just doesn't typically happen against Orcas.
So 14 assists for Felicia Knox, continues to widen her lead in NCAA soccer for the most assists and continue to rewrite the Alabama record book.
I mean, I just can't get over this type of response from Alabama. I mean, going down early against Ole Miss and then just regaining the lead in such a commanding way.
She also had 2 assists earlier this season against Texas A&M. That was her only other assist brace of the season. I guess we can say that, right?
I think so.
Okay. So part of the great run she continues to be on for the Tide. Parker again, and Alabama was moving a little too quick.
Yeah, a little bit too quick, but that was a good ball in from Gianna Paul. A lot of pace on that. Parker just couldn't get the touch I think she wanted, but you know, she's comfortable, you know, taking those players on, and she's been finding some space and able to get some separation from her defenders in the 18-yard box of the Ole Miss side.
Still Downing coming in. Spot of Mary Kay McGuire. She scored the first goal in the 11th minute for Ole Miss. Also Molly Thompson, the LSU transfer in for Mo O'Connor. So now the Rebels need to find some offense. Those are 2 key offensive pieces now resting on the bench.
Yeah, and you know, they made a big splash at the start of the game. As the Crimson Tide sort of settled in, didn't really hear them quite as much. But they did cause, you know, a lot of ruckus in Alabama's 18, probably within the first 15 minutes of that game. But Alabama able to figure it out and sort of settle in, and they really haven't been much of an offensive threat since then.
Marcus getting the Rebels organized from the back. Ole Miss team that is 9-1-2 on the season. Already down 2 goals to the Crimson Tide in the first half. Prior to this, no multi-goals allowed in a match by Ashley Orcas this season. Now she's trying to bounce back after allowing 3 in this first half.
Yeah, so this is uncharted territory for Ashley Orcas and the Ole Miss Rebels. You know, Ashley Orcas, though, is such a competitor. She's got so much experience. She brings so much composure to that back line. But if you did not think that Alabama was going to come knocking at your door time and time again, then you had the wrong team. You were watching the wrong tapes leading up to this match.
Playing with confidence.
So much confidence.
Laney trying to get the takeaway. Parker to Paul. Offside.
Just a step offside. Trying to do the quick give and go there with Kat Rogers, number 15, the other captain.
First offside call against the Crimson Tide tonight. Just the slightest touch gets Alabama back to the offensive third. Parker, tough defense all around her, and Ole Miss will get it back. That was Riley Friesen going to work.
Yeah, Riley Friesen and 2 other Ole Miss Rebels really just trying to double down, triple down even, and not let Parker turn. She's just so dangerous when she faces up.
Tough tackle, and that will be called. Knox hit the deck against Friesen.
Yeah, Friesen, good physical challenge there, but Knox able to draw that foul. She's so good at using her body. And again, trying to face up and play that ball quickly. And this is exactly what Ole Miss did not want to let Alabama do. You know, get this rhythm, move the ball around, feel comfortable. Also, when you're chasing, you get really tired.
So at 14-18 and counting left to go. Here's Parker. Riley Parker just to the left. Very, very close to her second goal.
Ooh, and the way that she is able to work off that ball and create so much space for herself is really amazing. I mean, she goes from being man-marked on the top of the 18-yard box and then is just able to create just so much space. Nobody was around her at all. Just so smart, such an intelligent player, and really the movement off the ball makes her so, so good.
All of those booming kicks from Ashley Orcus. Throw in for Skorka. Alabama just finds ways to possess so quickly.
Yeah, the speed of the play is just such an improvement, I think, from past years. And it's really proving to be very valuable.
Cameron Bliss tried to keep this alive for Ole Miss. Could not connect with Green on the right side.
And Ole Miss knew it was going to be hard to try to score in the run of play against Alabama because, you know, we talk about Alabama's scoring prowess, but they're really good defensively as well. And so set pieces like this, drawing fouls deep in their offensive third, is going to be the way that Ole Miss can get on the board.
Last foul on Mariana Anest of the Crimson Tide. Rebels, a dangerous team in set pieces, trying to kickstart their offense, now down 2 goals to Alabama. And it will be Orcus once again.
I was going to say either Orcus or Radecki. And Orcus, again, she can place that ball anywhere. Just great in terms of power, but also precision.
Ashley Orcus. The line drive into the box, headed first by Alabama. Knox getting it back for the Crimson Tide. Does her defense get talked about as much? I mean, obviously with the great assist numbers, you're going to talk about everything she's doing there and scoring goals, but how about Felicia Knox on defense?
I mean, Felicia Knox on defense, I don't think she stops running. I would love to know how much she actually accumulates over the course of the game because, like Parker, she is just, her movement off the ball creates all these opportunities for herself. She makes it look effortless, but it's really all the movement she does off the ball. And defensively, she's just always in the mix. Toe poking here, man marking here.
Well-deserved time on the bench coming up for her with Aislinn Stryzik checking in. We've seen Alabama in recent weeks as well have a pretty tight rotation, but especially early on this season, you had to love all the depth that Alabama was showing.
Absolutely. And, you know, part of that is, it's a good problem to have, but Mr. taking a deflection off, and she's responding well. Cheers from the crowd.
It's the last thing she expected.
Always got to keep your eye on the ball.
Raina Reyes does that well for Alabama. It'll be a goal kick.
Yeah, and so you can see, I think the ball goes off Haggerty as she tries to intercept Anest, and it takes out her teammate inadvertently, but she is okay.
They probably know it's being replayed.
Absolutely.
Actually, they got to see it on the video board in person, so
Who
definitely a
doesn't-
memory from Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, who doesn't want to make it on the Jumbotron?
Gianna Paul would like to. Despite the pressure, was still able to find Parker. Parker, long range and a tie.
Alabama is just knocking. You talked about their depth earlier, and it's just, you know, finding the right combination of players. And to be honest, Parker and Gianna Paul have such great chemistry together, but the same could be said about so many of the offensive players and for Alabama. But you talk about a tight rotation, and I think it's just about finding the players that really gel together, that can, you know, read each other and get those 1-2, you know, short passes and move that ball so quickly. Good physical play there between Gianna Paul and Michalak, and see Michalak wants a foul there for the hard play from Gianna Paul. Not going to get it though, just a throw in.
Chapman Haggerty. Headed first by Reyna Reyes. Parker again back to the goal, able to turn it around so quickly. Mentioned now she's tied with Jada Thomas of Tennessee for the SEC lead. Both have 10 goals and both are really similar. They get it around the top of the box, back to the goal, but then they are able to turn it around and just boom it right to the net.
Yeah, they are circling for their prey, which is the ball, and they just can get a foot on it and just really work their magic in that 6-yard box. They're just so dangerous, and they just need, you know, a moment.
Streisig out to Paul. Gianna Paul right up against Orcus. And there's the whistle.
Yeah, so Orcus is definitely going to, you'll get the call on that all the time, but it looks like she took a little bit of a knock there.
Adriana Logan, the athletic trainer, out to visit with Ashley Orcus. Those played every minute at goal for Ole Miss this year. Sarah Margaret Seabrook starting to get ready in case she is called upon as Orcus plays tonight in Tuscaloosa. She is an Alabama native from Vestavia Hills. Went to Vestavia Hills High School in the Birmingham area before starting her career in the SEC at Tennessee, and then transferred in 2018 to Ole Miss.
I think we're seeing the thumbs up there from Ashley Orcus to the side. Such a tough goalkeeper, tough player, a competitor. You know, those hard tackles, you just, even taking just a knee to knee, they hurt. Soccer is a tough sport, and so all the credit to the players on the field tonight, and Ashley Orcus, one of the toughest. So we see the nice lofted ball there, and you can see Michalak and Gianna Paul going and battling, and Orcus does the right thing by coming off her line big and aggressive, but I think maybe Gianna Paul's toe just sort of caught the knee, and again, that's gonna hurt. It's gonna take a minute, catch your breath, but you know, Orcus, again, one of the tougher, most experienced players on the pitch tonight.
Only goalkeeper in SEC history to be named the SEC Goalkeeper of the Year in back-to-back seasons. Could very well be headed towards a third with the fine play she's had this year. 8 shutouts on the season. Tonight's the first time she's allowed multiple goals in a match all year.
Yeah, and this might be the only time we see it, to be honest. I mean, Ashley Orcus is just so strong. This is really an atypical performance for her, but it comes with an absolute monster squad of Alabama who's just been doing just amazing things offensively all season long.
Lucy Green has been alongside Orcus as she gets ready to return to play. I beg your pardon, that's Radecki that's now back there who will take this kick. Headed first by Clem as the teams fight for possession. All the way back to Brooks Steer, dangerous spot. Chad Rogers, that first touch to get Alabama possession. Throw in for Ole Miss. Crimson Tide will go to the bench. Sydney Vinson's in for the first time tonight, replacing Riley Parker after she scored her 10th goal of the season earlier. Ole Miss also bringing in Alex Schoenstatt for the first time, replacing Molly Thompson. It appears that earlier this minute, Gianna Paul was called for a yellow card as well, part of the physical play that has continued between these teams. Chapman Haggerty able to disrupt Alabama's rhythm, but a throw-in coming up for the Tide. More physical play. There's a foul against Ole Miss.
Yeah, we can see here Anna's coming in, gets tangled up with number 25 of Ole Miss, Lucy Green. Before that, Gianna Paul got the yellow card for the inadvertent tackle against Ashley Orcus, the goalkeeper, who was down for just a little bit. But it's definitely been a battle everywhere on the pitch, and I think the second half will be full of the same good physical hard play tonight.
West Hart directing the Crimson Tide now up to number 4 in the nation. Highest ranking in school history, best of any SEC team so far this season. As been quick to say, this has not been an overnight build for this group. As mentioned, some of these players recruited even as far back as when he first got to Tuscaloosa back in 2015.
Yeah, he has been building this. This has been a vision and a work in progress for a long time. And I think last year, you know, the Tide finished a little bit short of I think what they wanted to and what they might have expected. And so I think the team was hungry for this year. And, you know, having those extra years, those extra COVID years, and having the chemistry in the players, I think it was the right combination of things, the perfect storm, so to speak.
Got so much better as the season went on and ended up having the best finish an Alabama team has ever had, winning in the NCAA tournament against Clemson. Certainly the home field advantage was what sparked it all, 10 wins at home last year.
Absolutely.
Already 6 this season, a perfect 6-0, including very notable wins against Clemson and South Carolina at a time where the Gamecocks ranked 5th in the nation. Now tonight against 20th ranked Ole Miss, Crimson Tide, after falling down early, only a few minutes later got an equalizer, a go-ahead goal, and added another for good measure. And that's what Alabama's done against top 25 this year. Had to go to 6th ranked BYU and picked up a monumental win and kind of avenging a loss from last year. It was BYU after the Clemson win for Alabama that knocked the Tide out of the NCAA tournament before BYU made it all the way to the NCAA tournament final against Florida State.
Yeah, it's just so impressive. And I mean, this is what separates the good teams from the great teams. And Alabama right now, they are playing like a great team.
Tried to get something going for Cameron Bliss. Kinley Crone quick to stop it. Speaking of work in progress, she transferred in from Oklahoma, led the SEC in minutes played back in the COVID season of 2020. Kind of found her voice as that time went on that season and got very comfortable with Alabama's solid backline, including Sasha Pickard.
Yeah, it's been really fun to watch over the last couple of years, just to see these same players that came in and just seeing them all gel together. They know each other inside and out, and I think the same can be said for many teams in the SEC. You see these, players taking their 5th year or coming in as graduate students, and it's just made it so fun and just such a tight race this year.
Crimson Tide working it around the back line, knowing time is on their side as this kind of frantic first half nearing its end. Again, so much action between the 11th minute and the 17th minute with all the scoring we saw. Rebels trying to play keep away from Gianna Paul, getting tangled up in the box. Paul goes down, battling against Radecki. Anest. Some clearance by Ole Miss. How about that opportunity?
That was, I'm sort of in disbelief because, you think Alabama's just going to move the ball around, and then all of a sudden, Gianna Paul decides to get it going, and it was almost a goal-scoring opportunity within the last 40 seconds or so.
May see another one. Kat Rogers. Off the top of the woodwork. Kat Rogers coming so close to her first goal of the season.
I think we've seen something reminiscent of that, and she is all smiles because I think she did that in a couple games ago, and it was just such a rocket off the crossbar, and she did it again. I thought she had Orcus beat.
She's had 2 goals throughout her long Alabama career against South Alabama and Lamar back in 2019. She says it was this close, and Alabama is so much closer to another home victory, a 3-1 lead for the Crimson Tide at halftime.
I mean, what a half of soccer, and seems like there's a little bit of confusion there on the kickoff.
Alabama quickly trying to find Riley Tanner. Chapman Haggerty having to back up a few steps.
Yeah, I think the crowd is giving her some help and some instruction on where exactly she needs to be. As a player, that's the side of the field. If you're the visitor, you hated to be on.
Rebels will try to get it to the middle. Trying to organize an attack with Mister, but Knox being active along with Kate Henderson. Reyes keeps it alive. Headed back to Zarepka. Skorka. Does it go back of the goal, but still aggressive play from the Crimson Tide already with a 2-goal lead.
Yeah, definitely some aggressive play. All the white jerseys getting up, joining the attack. We had Reina Reyes, Skorka getting up and joining the attack. I thought maybe for a minute, McGuire and O'Connor together on the pitch, they've given Alabama's back line some difficulty in the opening 10-15 minutes, but Alabama is just really making a statement here, and it starts with their back line led by McKinley Crone, and then that 4-back is just so strong. They are not letting much get through. And it looks like between Brooke Steer and McKinley Crone there, communication and understanding that McGuire, when she touches that ball, she is a threat, and you've got to put that away and handle that quite early.
Mary Kay McGuire scoring earlier for the Rebels. Team high 7 goals this season, leading the way with now up to 19 points. Crimson Tide with Tanner against Chapman Haggerty. That has been one of the key matchups tonight.
Yeah, Haggerty has been busy on that flank. She's had a lot to do between Riley Tanner, Raina Reyes when she's joining the attack, Felicia Knox.
That was one of the players Coach Mott told us she's going to have to play well in order for us to get a result tonight.
Absolutely.
Transfer from Gonzaga, missed last season with injury, but was all West Coast Conference as a freshman. Great opportunity with Henderson. Crimson Tide, Sarepka, deflection. Sarepka still battling. And Orcus will put an end to all of it.
Yeah, Orcus put an end to that right there, but such great little touches in and around that 6-yard box. It started with Riley Tanner using the outside of her foot, I think, to drop it to Kate Henderson, moved across the box to Parker, and then out to Sarepka, who did some great work there, some good individual effort. Just couldn't get that ball across the face of the net out of the hands of Orcus.
Pickard battling against McGuire. She'll win.
Yeah, such a well-timed tackle. I mean, Sasha Pickard, I don't know if anybody does it better than her.
Kate Henderson, slide tackle.
She does a pretty good job, too.
Might have been a tough knock for Riley Parker just there.
Yeah, it looks like she got banged up a little bit. Asking if she has a little mark on her cheek. So it was a big tackle there by Kate Henderson. She times it so well. And then that ball popped up, and it was a battle between Haggerty and Parker, and she got a little bit of a knock to the cheek.
Connor on defense, sticking right with Tanner. Tide and go back to the back line. Brooke Steer. Henderson again sliding all over the place.
I know 2 things about Henderson. She really likes to score, especially with her head, and she also loves to slide tackle. That is one of, I would say, the key features, the defining features of Kate Henderson. She just is grinding up front, and she's not afraid to slide on that grass.
Is that get annoying for teammates in practice? They're like, okay, we've been seeing this since the 1st of August.
Yeah, probably so. But, to each new team, it's a new battle. But Kate Henderson certainly knows how to put that other team under pressure.
McGuire's slow to get up, still slowly working her way back to her feet. Play has continued. It may stop here as she gets back down to the turf. Injury timeout for Mary Kay McGuire. holding her left knee.
Yeah, it looks like she probably took a knock there.
Adriana Logan, athletic trainer, back out for the Rebels, along with head coach Matthew Mott.
Yeah, she's been grinding out there on that left flank and taking some hard tackles. And
good to see her help back to her feet. Heading back to the bench for the Rebels.
so we get to see a little bit of what happened there. Looks like she might have been tangled up with her own teammate, Mo O'Connor. Just maybe looks like she got that cleat stuck maybe on a shorter jersey, but certainly not a physical play between an Alabama defender.
Stella Downing will take her spot on the pitch as we still have 38 minutes to go. Crimson Tide enjoying a 2-goal lead against Ole Miss. Aubrey Mister gets the Rebels moving. And Skorka takes it right away.
McKinley Crone trying to switch the field. Usually plays that ball out of the back really well with her feet. Trying to switch that field up, find Reina Reyes as the outlet pass. Just a little bit beyond her reach. Here you see Radecki, number 32 for Ole Miss, with a big throw. Trying to mount some offense in that 18-yard box.
Headed first by Macy Clem, as if it was directed right to her. Just the arc she's able to get on those throws is really impressive.
Absolutely, and again, just such a weapon. Turns a throw-in into a set piece and a potential scoring opportunity, which Ole Miss needs. No, but Ole Miss is certainly not making it easy on themselves. A lot of unforced errors, not connecting those passes, and if you're chasing all game, it's going to be pretty tricky to score. And if you're playing a team like Alabama, you've got to know that they are going to high press and they are going to turn that ball over and they are hunting for it. So you've really got to move that ball and move it with some precision and make it easier on yourselves.
Called against Ole Miss. 3 goals allowed tonight by Ashley Orcus. That'll be McKinley Crone. Similar to what we've seen from Orcus, getting set for this long-range kick. This one from just beyond midfield. Skorka trying to get a touch to set up a corner kick. And it will be a corner kick.
Yeah, it will be. You know, I thought that ball was a little bit wide, but took a little bit of a deflection there, I guess. And Alabama is not so bad from the corner.
Especially with Felicia Knox on service, already been one into the back of the net for goal for an equalizer for the Tide in the 16th minute. Well, here she goes again. Corner kick number 4. Played into Skorka this time. Parker long range. Just over the top.
You know, and usually I'm a bit of a hater. I don't love a short corner kick, but that one was almost pulled off to perfection. That little chip shot from the top of the 18, arcing. Skorka does well to keep control of that, and a little bit too high, but you know, not a bad look.
How about all the space around Parker?
I mean, like I said before, I just don't know how she keeps creating the space for herself. And this is not the first or the only game we've seen it, but I would say more so than other games, she has just had all the room to run and play with. And that's something that Ole Miss has to tighten up.
Played to the back for Alabama with McKinley Crone. She gave up that one goal to the Rebels, McKinley Crone did, but other than that, just one other shot on goal by Ole Miss tonight. And she picked up the save there for the Tide. Physical play, Tanner along with Haggerty, and a whistle against Tanner.
Against Tanner, yep. So Haggerty is going to get the foul, get that call, and Tanner's going to move away from the ball. But she did a good job to try to keep that ball in play, and then was able to win the ball again. And I think it might actually go towards Reina Reyes for the foul.
Sarepka out to Kate Henderson, surrounded by navy blue. Orcus with the stop. Kate Henderson is fearless.
She is fearless. Orcus makes it look like sort of just normal business there. Henderson had 2, maybe 3 Ole Miss Rebels trailing her. If she could have pulled it out in front of goal and pulled Orcus off her line a little bit more, it would have been a more dangerous play, but difficult to do when you've got 2 and 3 defenders on your back.
Sarepka hitting the pitch twice. Back-to-back attempts at the ball. Play continues with Henderson again. And Skorka. Off the cross, and this one's just to the left. Nearly the 4th goal for Alabama.
And I think that was a cheeky little back heel from Riley Tanner. I mean, what an incredible goal that would have been. Because Orcus was going front post, and that ball was going to the back. So you can see that nice ball in, and as Tanner is running across the face of goal, she hits it, I think, with that back heel or the bottom of her foot. And just to have the presence of mind to do that as you're running across the face of goal is so impressive.
Alabama corner kick. Stopped by the 2 hands of Ashley Orcus.
Yes, and that's the sure hands that we're used to seeing, that big presence in that 6-yard box of Ashley Orcus. Absolutely no question that that was her ball and she was going to get it.
Really standing above everybody. He's 5'11" in the box on plays like that.
Yes, like I said, big presence for more than one reason. I mean, she has a great frame, but she just makes herself so big.
Riley Parker heading to the bench for the Crimson Tide. Gianna Paul taking her spot, talented freshman from Huntington Station, New York. Also Ramsey Davis in for Aubrey Mister for Ole Miss. Nifty work, Felicia Knox. Couldn't quite get possession for the Crimson Tide, but she kept that alive a lot longer than we expected. Paul quickly getting involved off the bench. To the center. Orcus with a stop.
As I'm watching that play, it's almost like in slow motion. I mean, Riley Tanner just wants a goal so bad. She's finding all these great positions in front of the goal, but she just can't beat Orcus. That big frame you talked about, she got that with almost her fingertips, but using such great strength to push that ball, which is hard to do in the air. And she just does enough to keep that ball out of goal.
Tanner has 2 goals this year, including 1 in the last match a week ago in Athens. Alabama corner kick. Slide tackle, Riley Tanner. It was a Kate Henderson move, wasn't it?
That was awesome. She didn't get it the first time, but she made sure she stopped that play.
Now Felicia Knox. Good deflection by Michalak for Ole Miss. Another slide attempt by Tanner.
Good patience there by Michalak to not bite and not panic and let Riley slide right past her.
I'll see Mo O'Connor go to work for Ole Miss. As Montgomery, but Reyna Reyes right there on defense. O'Connor to the center, and this is knocked high and over by Ole Miss by Stella Downing, who came in a moment ago for Mary Kay McGuire. That likely would have been a ball for her if she was back in the match.
Yeah, absolutely. So that was a nice combination play there by Ole Miss. Connecting better, doing some nice close-knit passing in that deep offensive third. And look what happens. They were able to get some type of offense generated, maybe get a shot, not on frame, but some of the better looks we've seen from Ole Miss. They just really haven't been able to combine and put much together in that final third.
Tide, we're trying to find Gianna Paul at the top of the box. Cameron Bliss played a lot of minutes off the bench tonight for Ole Miss.
Yeah, what great work there by Reyna Reyes, working all the way back. You could see the determination in her face initially. She wanted to win that ball on the other side of half, but tracked all the way back, able to break it up.
Lucy Green coming in for the Rebels, replacing Chapman Haggerty.
I think a foul there against Sarepka. Maybe using her arms a little bit too much in that challenge for the head ball.
She scored in 3 of the last 4 matches for Alabama, including last time out against Georgia. One of the offensive leaders a year ago for the Tide in her first season in Tuscaloosa after time in Virginia, playing at a high level in the ACC. The Rebels get an attack going in this attacking third. Knox just past midfield. This will slip past the back line to Orcus.
Yeah, Orcus looking a little bit hesitant coming off that line. You know, her and Gianna Paul got tangled up in the first half and not quite as confident as I think we are used to seeing her.
First time she's allowed multiple goals in the game. McKinley Crone to start the match allowed the first goal she's given up at home all season long.
Yeah, it was a really uncharacteristic start to the game, and it's continued to sort of play out that way. We're seeing a lot of firsts, especially for the Ole Miss side.
Attacking third, Alabama. Michalak able to help get it a little bit away from the goal. Now Orcus with a sliding stop, but that'll lead to a corner.
Yeah, and you know, you got to wonder, knowing that Kate Henderson is chasing that ball down, knowing that she's not going to give up on it, just that moment lapse, you may be thinking about that incoming player and you just don't hold on to the ball as well as you could have.
7th corner kick for Alabama. Comes in much differently this time than what we're used to seeing, as Tanner got tamed up with a Rebel defender.
It looks like Riley Tanner was playing piggyback with Stella Downing over there. Stella doing a really good job of keeping her body between Riley Tanner and the ball, and you can see Tanner trying to plead her case, but referee is not buying it.
Lucy Green across midfield, taking it right away, Ashlyn Sarepka. Orcus didn't get much on that hit. Rebels could not keep it in play. Took a tough hit on her left knee earlier from Gianna Paul in the box. Had to get some extra bandaging on her left knee, but has played every minute, not only in this match, but for the Rebels at goal this season. Macy Clem trying to connect with Tanner, who's moving from the left side to the right side here in the last few minutes. What do you think about Tanner on that side of the pitch?
I like it. You know, I think the other side, they've sort of figured it out. But here, when she gets that ball on the left foot, she can put some different looks on net, get the ball across the face of goal. But I'll tell you one thing she's doing. She's still drawing those fouls. She's still being dangerous. She is still attracting all the attention and putting Alabama in some really great potential scoring opportunities.
Talking about several Alabama players who maybe don't show up in the stats sheet as much. She's certainly one of them. And I imagine in the meeting and the scouting report and film, she gets talked about probably as much as anybody on this roster.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it for a minute. I mean, that is one of the first people you are going to think about coming from that left side and just needing to shut down, because she is so incredibly dangerous.
Set piece for the Tide. That means Felicia Knox. Orcus with a stop, a lot of contact in the 6.
Yeah, a lot of players going down. Brooke Steer taking a hard hit there. Maybe collided with Stella Downing, number 98, or Ashley Orcus. But Orcus looking really strong and confident on that play.
A lot of contact between Henderson, Paul, and Downing, and it's a foul on Downing. 5'2" junior out of Vancouver, Canada. She's been scrappy ever since she entered.
Absolutely. She's a grinder, and you could see it here. Getting in, sticking into that tackle. Again, using her body so well to keep it away from Henderson, but you just, you know, can't really sit on it, and that's what she was doing there with Gianna Paul. But yeah, super scrappy, gritty player.
Felicia Knox. The line drive headed by the Rebs. O'Connor trying to get it away from the box, and she will. Reyes right there on defense. Raina Reyes taking over for Alabama. Now Tanner back on the left side to the center. Gianna Paul, but Orcus with one hand stops what would have been Alabama's 4th goal.
I mean, what an amazing save by Orcus, but for Alabama, that started with Raina Reyes. And I mean, we probably don't talk about her quite enough because she's playing in that defensive position, but my goodness, the strength on the ball, the poise on the ball, her ability to consistently win it and play it upfield. And then again, coming from Tanner, what a fantastic ball across the face of goal. And Gianna Paul thinking to one-time that out of the air. Perfect. The only problem, Ashley Orcus.
And now another problem, a corner kick coming up for Alabama. A lot of contact in the box, and this is to the back of the net. The Crimson Tide with a 4-1 lead over Ole Miss.
I think that was Brooke Steer, the converted forward to center back, gets the goal. Again, she's a great target for Alabama, but I mean, honestly, the balls that Felicia Knox is putting across the face of goal are just so hard to defend. I mean, I think Orcas is shaking her head. There's not much you can do when you've got all the white jerseys crashing the net. Great service, off Reina Reyes first, and then Brooke Steer there to pummel it away.
First collegiate goal for Brooke Steer. And the Crimson Tide can celebrate a 3-goal lead. The assist by Reina Reyes and Felicia Knox.
Bada bing, bada boom.
What a great moment for Steer, who played in only 3 games last year before injury. We were told going into last season by Wes Hart that she had a knack for scoring goals in club play as well. It finally gets to pay off here in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, it's got to feel good, especially because, you know, she's been moved to the back line, and obviously you put the team before yourself, but, you know, getting back to some of her former glory, well-deserved for Brooke Steer.
Ashley Orcas entered tonight having allowed 4 goals all season long. Now the Crimson Tide with a 4-goal performance against her and Ole Miss this evening. The latest from Steer, Dexter, Michigan native. Jonna Paul with some good options, especially Felicia Knox. Now she'll have some options. Skorka dribbling into the box. Kat Rogers stopped by Orcas. How about close calls for Kat Rogers tonight?
Yeah, but you know, she's putting herself in the right places at the right time. Great service coming in from Jessica Skorka. But again, Kat Rogers almost all alone at the top of the 18, or at least more room to work with than you would think the Rebels are going to give her. You know, couldn't quite get around that ball and get the pace on it she wanted, but you know, an excellent look on goal.
Four goals for Alabama tonight, matching the most in an SEC match so far this year, as Alabama tries to get to 5-0 in conference play. Also, 2 weeks ago in Knoxville, had a 4-goal performance against the Lady Vols. 6 goals against Chattanooga was the most back on September 18th that Alabama scored this season. Riley Parker back in for the Crimson Tide. Already with a goal tonight, now up to 10 on the season. Radecki's big throw in, hit first by Clem, back out of play.
Yeah, Alabama being careful on that, knowing that that throw in is like a set piece.
Gonna get ready for another set piece with a corner kick for Ole Miss, and once again Radecki leads the Rebels with 8 assists on the season. Radecki. Headed first by Steer. Tide get clearance.
Yeah, the Tide are just, so efficient. What impresses me the most is that every single player on this field is going to do everything they can to get that first, second, third, fourth, fifth ball. I mean, it didn't touch a blue jersey, in that entire sequence.
Aislinn Strizek just came in as Alabama went to the bench replacing Riley Tanner, and then Taylor Radecki also out with Kayla Chapman-Haggerty back in. Felicia Knox certainly has been in tonight for the Crimson Tide. Secondary assist just a moment ago on the fourth goal that we saw for the Tide. What a performance as she now has at least one assist in 9 straight matches. NCAA leader up to 14.
Yeah, there are some players that you just don't want to leave the pitch, and Felicia Knox is definitely one of them.
Just came into this match talking about how Ole Miss had a different style than Alabama and one that could give the Crimson Tide problems. Just, Haley, the more you see this Crimson Tide team, what kind of team will give Alabama the most headaches?
I don't think any team, to be honest. I mean, Alabama is doing them, and they're doing it so well, it doesn't really matter what other teams are doing. I think if they keep playing hard and everybody is locked in and playing and understanding their roles, I really don't think there's going to be a particular team that gives them a whole bunch of trouble. So hopefully I'm not eating my words, but I mean, Alabama is playing great soccer, and this streak is not going to end.
Winning streak at 7 right now, a perfect 4-0 start to conference play for Alabama. Off this set piece, Rogers bends it inside the box. Reina Reyes trying to get a foot on it. Deflection over the goal.
Yeah, Reina Reyes is in the mix. She's hunting. She wants that goal.
So up next for the Crimson Tide, this is the rest of the regular season. At LSU on Sunday, I think everybody is anticipating the matchup coming up on Sunday, October 16th in Tuscaloosa against Arkansas. That'll be shown on the SEC ESPN network. And then at Mississippi State, a very good Starkville group so far this year. And then the Florida Gators, and at Auburn to close out the year.
Yeah, certainly not easy. And I mean, I don't think there's any game you look at on the schedule that you feel like, ooh, this is going to be a good, easy one. We can sort of take our foot off the gas. But, in talking with Coach Hart, there isn't actually one that they really fear either, because they're so confident in what they are able to do and do well. They really know who they are, and they're showing everybody.
Strizek with some spacing, tried to connect with Parker. Job by Bliss to slow that down, at least for Ole Miss. Reina Reyes battling. Again, trying to find Parker.
And Felicia Knox just offside there. Good look by Macy Clem, able to ping that ball right off her forehead, almost able to keep control, but looked like she was a half step or so offside.
Alabama with the schedule we just saw coming up. The Crimson Tide are one of 6 teams that have never won the SEC championship in soccer. Alabama has won 3 Western Division titles, but you have to go back to the 90s for those results. 1995, 1997, and 1998. So in addition to the highest ranking ever, this has been, again, a very historic season, and it really all come down to the finish at this point for the Tide.
Absolutely. They've started off so strong, and we've got to see how they're going to finish. But if tonight is any indication, and sort of the big wins they've put up on the board, I think this is going to be a really as you say, historic season for this team.
Final 10 minutes from Tuscaloosa. Stryzik back to the center. And out of play. Talented sophomore Aislinn Stryzik. Already scored once this season against Southern Miss. Sydney Vinson's in for Felicia Knox. Another brilliant performance by Felicia Knox tonight.
Absolutely, and a well-deserved break. You know, keeping her healthy and rested as much as possible for their game on Sunday is so key. But yeah, she absolutely put on a show tonight.
Here come the Rebels. Molly Thompson able to get Ole Miss moving along with Alex Schoenstatt. Back to the center. Blisson Green, Lucy Green. Sasha Pickard able to get redirect for a moment. Schoenstatt, tough collision in the box along with Brooke Steer. More pushing and shoving and a whistle.
Yeah, that tackle by Brooke Steer was great. That was a good 50-50 ball, hard tackle nonetheless. And then Gianna Paul getting double down and sticking it in there, able to draw the foul. Again, if you're Coach Hart, you're trying to think, you know, want to leave your players in, get them playing time, game fitness, but you also want to, you know, keep them healthy for Sunday and maybe not have them in to take some of those harder tackles. But as we've talked about before, a good thing is they've got plenty of depth and plenty of talent.
Alabama's not taking Raina Reyes off the pitch tonight. Vinson's getting involved. Sydney Vinson's to the center. Stop before it gets to Paul by Chapman Haggerty. Kemp will roll it to Orcus. Out of play to the Alabama bench. Mariana Anest will take over. Holding center mid for the Tide for Macy Clem, who scored earlier. Great performance by Macy. Something to note for the Rebels as well as Paul sends this out to the left. Will stay in play. Have not seen the return of Mary Kate McGuire.
Yeah, she looked like she had taken a weird sort of knock, you know, non-contact in the sense that it wasn't a knee-to-knee with an Alabama player. Looks like she got tangled up with one of her own teammates, but it's good to see that she's standing on the sideline. But at this point, it is not worth it to put one of your best forwards back in the game, and you want to rest them and save them for the next matchup.
Good to see no brace or even wrap on that knee that was examined earlier, so hopefully she'll be good to go coming up on Sunday when the Rebels are at home in Oxford against Texas A&M.
Yeah, that'll be a big matchup, and the Ole Miss is going to want to have their squad as healthy as possible to take on the Aggies.
Because they can still get a lot of points in the SEC West coming up.
Oh, absolutely. And, you know, Alabama is also playing a lot of divisional games coming up. And so these points for both sides are really important. And, you know, despite the performance tonight, Ole Miss is sitting in a pretty good spot overall. And
Stryzik trying to connect with Paul right at the top of the 6.
yeah, it went past everybody. Orcus stayed home on that one. And all it would have taken is just a toe poke save from one of the Alabama offensive players. But no such luck. And to your point, Roger, I would find it hard to imagine that another team is going to come and have 4 goals against Ashley Orcus. I just don't see that happening with the other teams that Ole Miss has on their schedule. Not to say it can't happen, but you know, she's just so solid usually. And you know, talking with Coach Mott, it's got to be a pretty amazing series of circumstances that if they're going to beat her in the way that Alabama's done tonight.
It's a 3-game stretch in the middle with Mississippi State, along with Georgia coming up for Ole Miss, in addition to going against Arkansas, at least that's at home in Oxford. Arkansas winning the last 3 SEC regular season titles. But an Ole Miss team that maybe not much was expected from. Preseason 9th in the SEC poll. At the top of the table most of the season this year, and still a long way to go as we're just playing the first match of October tonight. Corner kick, Alabama. Orcus off the line. And the whistle in the box.
Yeah, and you can see that, you know, Reyes animated and not liking that call, but, you know, in that 6-yard box, that referee is going to give the advantage to the goalkeeper every time, and Orcus did well to get off her line and put up a battle for it.
Rebels quickly in the attacking third after that. Far in front, Stryzik out of the box. Thompson against Steer. Seen that a lot tonight. Amber Fortenberry just came in a few minutes ago, and now this will go back the other way. Vinson's knocked down from behind, and a foul called against Kemp.
Does a good job to draw that foul. You know, when Sydney Benson's been in, she does a good job to sort of execute her role and play those hard minutes. She's got great size, and so putting herself between the player and the ball, she's going to draw that foul all day long.
So I'm trying to get organized on this kick. It will be Crone. Minute 34 to go. Soft roll that time by Crone to Steer. Rebels had the initial lead, but then a few goals quickly after that from the Crimson Tide. Alabama never looking back. LSU is next for Alabama, but the next home game against Arkansas. It'll certainly be a battle. On October 16th, that'll be shown on the SEC Network.
We're going to see some time management from Alabama, just winding down the clock. Or maybe one more goal.
At least one more chance. How about Allie Burke? Out to Anest. And Orcus sees that go to the top of the net as the seconds will tick down, and the Alabama Crimson Tide keep on winning. 8 victories in a row, including 14 at home in Tuscaloosa. Tonight's final score, 4th ranked Alabama 4, 20th ranked Ole Miss 1.
What a convincing win by Alabama. Ole Miss, you know, they've got to take this loss and, you know, just now focus on their upcoming game on Sunday. As we've talked about, still lots of time to play and lots of points to get, but, you know, all the credit to Alabama. The better team won tonight, and they absolutely dominated.
Alicia Knox, a big reason why, a goal as well as 2 assists for her on the night. Solid performance, helping Alabama pick up another victory, especially going up against one of the best goalkeepers in the league, in Ashley Orcus.
Like I said, this does not happen a whole lot, and you know, this is really impressive by Alabama to get so many goals and to really just put on such a commanding display all over the pitch. It wasn't just the goals, it was the excellent defense, the battles in the midfield, the possession. It was all Alabama all night long.